Swadika, good morning and welcome to Newsline. I'm Cholapansa Narula. Thank you very much for joining us on NBT and also our viewers on NBT World, as well as listeners joining us on Radio FM 88, that is. And now let's have a look at today's news. In today's segment of Thailand Moves Forward, the Indian Embassy is collaborating with Chulalongkorn University in organizing an exhibition of photographs by Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn to mark the occasion of Her Royal Highness' 5th cycle birthday anniversary. And Prime Minister Janil Prayut Chan-o-cha chaired the inauguration ceremony for the exhibit titled India Through the Lens of Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn, which was being held at Chulalongkorn University's museum building. The exhibit features 37 photographs on the subject of India. All photographs are the work of Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn and were taken during Her Royal Highness's many visits to India. The exhibition will be ongoing until May 25th. Now, visits can be made from Monday to Saturday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. each day. Thailand will provide humanitarian assistance to Rohingya migrants, but it also needs to be mindful of internal security and uphold its own laws. According to the Deputy Government spokesperson, Major General Sansern Kaew-Kamnert, he said Thailand has clearly expressed its intention to cooperate with the international community in addressing the irregular migration of Rohingya persons, some of whom may end up as victims of human trafficking. He said the problem needs to be jointly tackled by all relevant countries. Major General Sansern added that although Thailand has been providing care under humanitarian principles to the illegal migrants, it must be understood that the migrants must be either sent back to their country of origin or to a third country. There is no policy for them to be resettled in Thailand. In regards to suggestions for Thailand to open its border to the illegal migrants and find work and shelter for them, Major General Sansern said this would not be the correct way to address the problem. Doing so would also violate Thai laws and could cause repercussions on the country's security. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has invited 17 countries in the region to a meeting on the problem of Rohingya illegal migrants on the 29th of May 2015. Spokesperson of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Sek Wanamethi, said Minister of Foreign Affairs General Thanasak Patimapakorn had confirmed to the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry that Thailand had taken care of Rohingya refugees in line with humanitarian principles. Thailand would not force them out of the country. Thailand provided food, water and patrol for a group of Rohingya people straying in the sea on May 15th off Satun province, said the spokesman. The immigrants told Thai authorities that they wanted to travel to another country. Mr. Sek said that Thailand was ready to take care of Rohingya immigrants and allow them to stay at temporary refugee camps. Thailand needed to abide by its laws, otherwise other immigrants might try to enter the country illegally. The spokesman expressed his belief that all 17 countries would send their representatives to attend the meeting, where they were expected to learn about concrete guidelines to tackle the problems of Rohingya illegal immigrants and human trafficking. Minister to the Prime Minister's office has attended the memorial service to remember those who have lost their lives in the Black May 1992 political uprising. Prime Minister's Office Minister Momluong Panadda Disakun represented the Prime Minister on Sunday to attend the ceremony to mark the 23rd year since the May 1992 political uprising and presented a wreath for those who lost their lives over 2 decades ago. Momluong Panadda said that the incident took place on May 17, 1992, marked an important change in Thailand's political history, as a people's uprising showed the public's will to achieve democracy. He added that Prime Minister Janil Prayut Chan-o-cha has recognized the people of Thailand's wish to see real democracy in the country and has urged all to help achieve this goal by uniting and through reconciliation. Representatives from various political groups also attended the ceremony this year, including the first Vice President of the National Legislative Assembly, Surachai Liengpunlerchai, and member of the National Reform Council, General Ekachai Sivilat. At the ceremony, Mr. Surachai said He is confident that all bodies set up after the coup last May will be able to help pull Thailand through all conflicts. The NLA's first vice president also said that he believed that the 5 rivers, which include the NLA, the National Reform Council, the Constitution Drafting Committee, the Cabinet, the National Council for Peace and Order, will be able to help Thailand overcome all problems and go through a perfect development process. The comments were heard during his participation in the ceremony to mark the 23rd year of the May 1992 political uprising. Mr. Surachai stated that such missions are for the interest of the people and never for the benefits of any political groups or parties. He also called on all Thais to work together to bring Thailand towards real democracy. The Commerce Ministry is planning to keep track of private hospital fees in its bid to prevent them from overcharging their foreign clients. The Director General of the Department of Internal Trade, Bunyarit Kalayanamit, said that the measures came after his meeting with the Ministry of Public Health yesterday, following a deluge of complaints about the issue. Currently, the only existing law related to the problem is the 1999 Consumer Protection Law, which requires business operators to clearly display the prices of the products and services. Yesterday's meeting also agreed on the establishment of a committee setting the median prices of medication. The topic would be brought to the attention of the National Drugs Council. Another measure to be put in place is to set the median prices for medical service fees, treating it as a commodity product price control, said the Director General, adding that such a policy can be issued under the Ministry's authority. Both measures are expected to be discussed and concluded within a month's time. The Ministry of Industry has denied a rumor that it was preparing to auction gold mining concessions. Industry Minister Chakramon Phasukwanit confirmed the government had yet to put gold ore sources in 31 provinces up for auction, since the Cabinet has decided to suspend the planned bidding since 2007. Mr. Chakramon said the Ministry of Industry was in the middle of drafting a new policy regarding the gold mining concessions. Brainstorming sessions will be held in different provinces in July to collect the opinions of local people on the matter. The data will then be discussed at the Cabinet meeting for consideration. The minister added that anyone spotting gold mining in his community can inform authorities so that culprits can be prosecuted. Moving on, the Royal Forest Department is set to reorganize 400,000 rai of rubber plantations that encroach on protected forest areas this year. Department Director General Thirapat Prayunra Sithi said that there are about 102 million rai of forests in Thailand, which is 32% of the country's total area. He said that ideally, at least 40% of the country's area should be forests, and this means as many as 28 million rai of forests have to be grown. Parts of the country's forest areas have been encroached upon for extended periods of time, and the Royal Forest Department is trying to restore these areas by utilizing various regulations and by working with the civic sector. The department has categorized encroached forest into 309 groups. Mr. Thirapat added that some 20 million rai of rubber plantation area in Thailand, about 5 million rai encroaches into forest areas. Of this figure, 4.4 million rai is now under the care of the Royal Forest Department. Within this portion, the department is aiming to reclaim 1.5 million rai that are held by non-farmers. He said encroached areas that fall under the Cabinet Resolution of 1998 will be managed in a way that does not affect the persons making their living off these plots of land. Ayutthaya Province has planned to request a budget of 240 million baht for a new flood prevention project in its industrialized zone. According to Ayutthaya Governor Apichat Todilokvet, the budget will be spent on the construction of 5 sluice gates and a drainage canal on the eastern side of the province, which has been designated as the economic zone. The economic zone, covering an area of more than 200,000 rai, is the location of major industrial estates including Ban Wa High-Tech Industrial Estate and Bang Pain Industrial Estate. 2 floodgates are now under construction and are expected to be completed this year. The governor said nearby Pathum Thani province would also benefit from the flood prevention project if the sluice gates and canal were completed, as both Ayutthaya and Pathum Thani are located near the Chao Phraya River. The Japanese government earlier granted a financial aid of 400 million baht for the flood solution project for the low-lying areas on the western side of Ayutthaya. The project is due for completion this year. And that's it for Thailand Moves Forward. Before we take a short break, let's have a look at the exchange rates and commodity prices. And Newsline will be back with international news.
Maintain a strong nation, Thailand is promoting 12 core values for the good of the people. The ninth core value, being conscious and mindful of actions in line with His Majesty the King's royal statements.
How could you do that to me? Stop it! Huh? Don't you get it? I don't need you anymore. Enough! We're through. There's someone else in my life.
Say no to the past. Bring your own bag. Say no to plastic.
Nepal has recently been hit by a massive 7.8 magnitude earthquake. The disaster has caused great damage to the country. Thousands of people lost their lives. Thousands of people lost their family. Thousands of people lost their homes. Millions of people are still in dire need of support. You can lend a helping hand by donating to these accounts.
We have received many calls offering help in kind, means trying to send goods, and they are asking how we can help. We are really humbled by the offer of the government and the people of Thailand for our people in Nepal, and we highly appreciate it.
Welcome back. You're watching Newsline. I'm Chalapansana Rula, and let's begin with ASEAN and beyond. The Minister of Tourism and Sports has joined the Golok Thailand-Malaysia cycling event held in celebration of Her Royal Highness Princess Mahachakri Sirinthorn's 60th birthday anniversary, as well as to tighten the relations between Thailand and Malaysia. The Minister of Tourism and Sports, Kun Kobkan Wattanawarankun, presided over the opening ceremony of the Golok Thailand-Malaysia cycling event. After the opening ceremony, the minister joined participants to ride around the Sungai Golok city, heading to the Thailand-Malaysia border crossing and then onwards to Kelantan, Malaysia. The minister said that she is confident about the security protection in the area and is positive that the southern border provinces of Thailand are actually livable places with outstanding traditions of the local people. She said that being in the area gave her the feeling of unison with the local people, while forging ahead with the tourism campaign in the Sungai Golok city border area. Police in Waco, Texas said on Sunday that gunfire at a sports bar left 9 people dead and several others injured after a fight broke out between biker gangs. Police have arrested 3 individuals in connection with the shooting. According to local news reports, the shootout took place in a parking lot outside the restaurant and that 8 people died there and 1 died at the hospital. The station reported that police had recovered firearms, knives, bats and chains at the scene. Restaurant employees locked themselves in freezers after hearing the shots. Twin Peaks is a chain restaurant that features scantily clad women working as servers. All of the fatalities were bikers. NBC affiliate KCEN-TV reported on its website after police said no officers had been injured or killed. It is uncertain if there were any casualties among patrons of the bar who were not affiliated with the bikers. The Syrian army has regained control of the surrounding area of the archaeological city in Palmyra. The militant group's attack on the government-held city of Palmyra, also known as Tadmur, has raised concern its World Heritage Site could meet the same fate as ancient monuments the group has destroyed in Iraq. Palmyra is strategically significant because it sits at a crossroads linking it to the cities of Homs and Damascus. Islamic State has mounted frequent attacks on the surrounding areas in recent months, part of an apparent effort to expand beyond its strongholds in eastern and northern Syria. Syrian State TV, citing a military source, said the army had killed dozens of Islamic State militants to the east of Palmyra and were pursuing their withdrawing remnants in several directions in the area. Homs Governor Talal al-Barazi said during a field visit to one of the military points in Palmyra that the archaeological site is safe and in the hand of the Syrian army. Up to 50,000 Burundian refugees are stranded in an overcrowded lakeside village on the border with Tanzania as aid agencies warn of mounting tension with local people and also fear of disease. More than 70,000 refugees have arrived in Tanzania, with most currently gathering at the Kagunga reception area, where they are slowly being transported to the Nyarugusu camp by boat and then trucks. Aid agencies are preparing for the regional crisis to worsen following an attempted coup in Burundi. It is the worst violence to hit the small Central African nation since its 12-year civil war ended in 2005. Roadblocks and the closure of borders have been making it hard for people to flee, agencies have said, as protests erupted over President Pierre Nkurunziza's plan to run for a 3rd term. They are a 100-year-old German boat transporting 1,200 refugees a day from Kagunga village to the Tanzanian port of Kigoma, and it cannot keep up with some 2,000 daily arrivals. Most of the refugees at Kagunga are women and children who have been sleeping out in the rain, according to UNHCR officials. They are squeezed into a confined space with a shortage of latrines and drinking water in a village that is normally home to 12,000 people. President of China, Xi Jinping, met with U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry in Beijing on Sunday, discussing his scheduled state visit to the United States in September. Recalling U.S. President Barack Obama's visit to China in November last year, Xi said he looked forward to continuing to talk with the U.S. President in September in a candid and in-depth way on the bilateral ties and other major issues to further expand cooperation and benefit the people of the two countries as well as the world at large. The consensus between Xi and Obama to build a new model of major country relationship is in the common interest of China and the United States. During the meeting, he highlighted new progress on trade, investment, the number of visitors to each other's territory, energy, and military-to-military and people-to-people exchanges. China and the U.S. have also been in close communication on major regional and global issues, said the Chinese president, suggesting the two sides expand practical cooperation to make their new type of relationship more fruitful. The number of people killed in Nepal by 2 major earthquakes has surpassed 8,500, making the disaster the deadliest to hit the Himalayan country on record, as rescuers on Sunday searched for dozens of people still missing in remote villages. A 7.8 magnitude earthquake hit Nepal on April 25th, killing thousands and demolishing more than 500,000 homes, most of them in rural areas cut off from emergency medical care. A second major earthquake struck on Tuesday, 76 kilometers east of the capital Kathmandu, just as Nepalis were beginning to recover from the previous tremor. The death toll from the two quakes now stand at 8,583, the Home Ministry said on Sunday. The previous deadliest earthquake to strike the country in 1934 killed at least 8,519 in Nepal, as well as thousands more in neighboring India. In Dulaka district east of Kathmandu, which was hit hardest by the second quake, dozens of landslides have blocked access to remote villages. In Singate village, devastated by a landslide, dozens are still missing, and rescue workers are yet to remove debris from all of the village to recover bodies, district officials said. Prime Minister Sushil Koirala told reporters on Sunday 58 foreigners had died in the two earthquakes. Koirala said 112 foreigners were still unaccounted for, although many of those could be backpackers who chose not to register with authorities when they leave the country. Flash floods soaked several parts of the central U.S. states on Sunday after a tornado series hit large parts of the area a day earlier, cutting power lines and damaging structures. Parts of Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Tennessee, and Kansas were either under a flash flood watch or flash flood warning on Sunday morning as thunderstorms battered several central states, according to the National Weather Service. Emergency crews in Johnson County, Texas, had to rescue people stuck in their homes and cars due to the high flooding there. And in Mosby, Missouri, residents also had to be evacuated from their homes when the Fishing River ran over its banks, flooding roads and highways and stranding motorists. There were 29 reported tornadoes on Saturday, May 16, that hit states ranging from Louisiana to Wyoming. That's according to the National Weather Service. And that's it for today's edition of Newsline. Thank you very much for joining us. If you wish to email your comments or suggestions to us, please do so. The email address is now appearing on your screen, newsline.nbt@gmail.com. Today we say goodbye, taking you to Colombia. Hundreds of pet owners turned out at Colombia's second annual pet run to raise money and awareness for the animal rights and other animal charities. I'm Chalapansan Rula. We'll see you next time. As for now, Swadee Ka.